G'day there. This is another example of playing against beginners or below 1500 with the system I'm recommending for beginners, E3 being played for white. And I was getting a bit tired of these games. We'll see how I go. And so black trots out the Dutch. And what I can say about that is it's not bad. I mean, I think that white has a very, very strong game here. Like, development's going on naturally. That's the whole point of it, is for a beginner. F5 is probably the worst response to E3. So, castling is an option here. What am I going to do? Castle. Once again, solid development. Where am I going to go? Just create a bit of look for my king. That's always advisable. So what am I going to do? What do you think I should do? Well, that's a bit of an ugly thing. Now I can create a situation where he forks two of my pieces with a pawn. Well, I'm going to enter with the knight as well. Just try and congest everything. You know, let him get rid of his good pieces. You know, if that's his desire. Now that is an interesting move. Like, where's he going? What's he doing? So I think that I decided to hold the center as much as make it as uncomfortable and as unpleasant as possible, which is understandable. Well, the piece sack, that, you know, wild spirit, doesn't really make too much sense. So gonna have to start putting some defenses in the second rank, and my knight's just sitting there pretty. I'm not worried about any sort of attacks. I think the center's like really closed and controlled. I think the sacrifice was a little bit desperate. Should I open up that D pawn? Nah. No. Capture with the logical way, with the towards the center. Alright. Let's trade pieces. I'm up in materials, so when you're up in material, trade pieces. So I'm just looking at how stupid the development is for those pieces over there, over on the queen side. There's a huge lead in development, and I think that's paying off. Now I might have to defend the pawn again with the queen. That's quite possible. With the king, I should say. And knight plays out. Where am I going to go? Well, to capture the pawn, I'm not afraid of knight c2. I think that's a very passive move. I think if I was on the top of my game, I think bishop to c4 was better. Pointing at the king. I think I brought it back there just so it couldn't be harassed, and also potentially another defender of the h pawn. Sort of frees up my queen. Well, what's he going to do? Is he going to capture that center pawn? Now, the thing is, the center's sort of unraveling for one of us. We can, yep. There we go. Trying to develop. Let's capture. Let's get a little bit more material. To take is a mistake, but if you can take. Why not? Okay. Pieces are mobilizing. Now, obviously, bishop c4 here. I'm looking at this. It's looking really attractive. Don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking, threaten the knight. Bishop c4 is better, just in general, pinning the... And now... It's a free piece. And if bishop to c6, queen takes queen check. And the misalignment between the queen and the rook is addressed with. And so extra couple of free pieces brings out my wild sacrificial craziness. Computer says I'm up 7 points. So what am I going to do? He's broken the pin. So I think my next move is logical. I bring my queen out of harm's way. I prepare the move. Yeah. Okay. Not so, yeah. Developing a P, yep. Clearing that back rank, that's all good ideas, but I was really thinking of queen f3, and then if the bishop plays, then it doesn't really hold up. The queen's a lot stronger where it is. Yeah, because then it at least can exchange for the queen, but breaking that pin's probably going to be a smart move very soon. So it's an interesting position. I don't think I've been playing my most active. Okay, now queen f3. So gorgeously simple position. Got this amazing bulkhead in the center on the dark squares, and I find that move, attacking the pawn, interesting because I was always going to redirect my bishop so why not get the bishop happening at a much more dynamic way. It was quite closed off there, and now it's actually quite stunning. See, yeah, begin a mistake, loose pieces drop off. So I think my queen will retreat back to where she was. Let's have a look. Okay, now obviously that misalignment, with the queen and rook has been the object of desire, but that's the thing about fool's gold. It looks like gold, but yeah. So that mass of pawns in the center eventually did their job. I'm not too sure what that move is about. That's like, I'm gonna go crazy. So the idea was to, obviously, if I capture and then he advances the pawn, but I went for mate. Oh no, he resigned. So here we go again. Now I'm playing the French. See, I always just key it in, doesn't matter. Rain or shine. Gonna get these pawns running. So we're gonna switch to, instead of the French, Queen's Gambit declined. Very simple idea. Now good development. Create a bit of luft. You don't have to worry about a bishop sack on that just yet. Okay. More piece development, more centralization. That's my blunder right there. Pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes. But I'm not too concerned. They missed it, and then they gave me this sort of wonderful position to play around with, like to maneuver and maneuver. To be honest, I don't think Horton, whoever this is, I think is playing quite well, and I think I'm playing really tired here. So, all right, lots of maneuvering now, lots of batten down the hatches. Yep, just keep it simple. Exchanges free up more space. Okay, and also that bishop over there in the corner is obviously a bit dead. King's in a precarious situation. Needs to castle queenside. And so yeah, that's what can happen in the French. You can end up in this manoeuvring nightmare. You can be quite congested over yourself, and you just have to defend sensibly. And the thing is, there's a lot of tactics. People who aren't familiar with the French, there's a lot of tactics that can occur, a lot of room for creativity and a positional game. We can see here the idea is to exploit this position. If the queen plays down, then the bishop can play back and guard the g-pawn. It's just a totally solid position. Yeah, but now it's the knights. So the knights are defending the knights. Very good position. And now I'm feeling more footloose and fancy free. I've got all sorts of ways of playing here. So the queen is heading towards developing, and somewhere on one of those dark squares. Let's have a look. Oh, giving away a free pawn. Now that just gave us more space. That's like a typical beginner move. Horton is definitely stronger than his rating score is. That can happen all the time. I've been caught flat-footed by taking things really casually, thinking they're a beginner, and nope, they're not. They're quite strong. So how can I get more space? Here we go. Good centralization. This queen move can be a bit of a hazard. Sometimes it can be a bit of a bait, like doing a weakness, and they sort of think they can. Oh, I finally got my castle in, which is good news. And so show no fear. No fear. I have no fear. Whatever you do, don't say fear. So this is the idea that I'm talking about. When you castle queenside, it's typically good to run to the queenside. And so I have to say, now that there's that alignment between the queen and the king, I can tell that Horton is hearing a who right now. Horton is thinking, hey, how can I take advantage of that? It's a bit difficult considering my knight is at g6. Even though this position looks really ugly, black has a lot of resilience left. Horton is using way too much time to try and nut out this problem, and that'll come back to bite him. But also, I sort of did it as like a bit of a tease. There's no way I'm going to let myself fall for it, but exchanges will favour me. So if I can, that move there is interesting, isn't it? It's the weakness of that move is it's no longer targeting that loose pawn at f5, and now my bishop can centralize. Knight takes bishop. The bishop's threatening to capture even the knight, so gaining space is key. And so I definitely think Horton is hearing a who. He's definitely thinking about how to pin that queen. Yeah, there we go, attacking the loose pawn. Very, very sensible. So that pawn unfortunately is being attacked. So my bad bishop is slowly trying to become a good bishop. Should I capture the knight or should I centralize? Yeah, there we go. Good thing my king moved across. It's always good principle. Now he's really trying something, so I want some exchanges. So let's sort of encourage it. Let's encourage the pin. We'll open everything up, and yep, there we go. So now I'm threatening bishop takes bishop, and I'm also threatening bishop takes knight, and also threatening to do a little dance as well, some dancing and some prancing. Now, taking my bishop, not so sure. I just get to get another freeing exchange, and another one. Another one bites the dust. Alright, just another exchange. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, I don't think I've been playing particularly the French very well, but I think that you can see, if you talk, the thing about it is that it's a maneuver, it's maneuvering, and that's the same with E3. What makes this deadly is because when you fight against other beginners, they're not really able to maneuver very well, and they're not really able to play with the position. Now, I think I've let too much get away from myself here, and I think that I think this is the game where I fully blunder the game. Horton is definitely stronger than the ranking, but he missed right at the time scramble at the end. He missed it. So, alright. Now I obviously don't take the pawn. If I take the pawn, it's a disaster. So I need to do something here. I need to do something sensible. So I've got all these extra pawns. No, that doesn't do it too much. But it's threatening a check. So now I think this is one of my mistakes. I think I can play bishop takes check once the king moves, then actually block the bishop at f4. So I think that I missed that, and that's completely my fault. And yep, so there we go. I captured his rook. He after because he's in check, he can't capture my queen. So then I block. I've got the exchanges I want. I'm up material. Yeah, pretty happy here. Threatening to win back this pawn. Very, very happy. So knight takes. Yeah, okay. So what am I going to do? Threaten a few pawns. So let's count pawns here. I've got 4 on the queen side, 2 on the king side. He's got 3 on the king side and 2 on the queen side. And I think that the price is, his position's crumbling. I've got the outside passed pawn, and I've got his pawn in blockade. And now, so now that I'm clearly up, just exchange down. But wait till you see my mistake. He's got no time. I got a lot of time, and so now he captures. That pawn's a goner, but so's his pawn. So let's run. Let's run. Not sure about that move. Not sure. Gives me. Yep, that's more logical. So I was looking at parrying. So I don't know why I saved that pawn. I guess I like pawns. Happy my queenside pawns are all advanced. Happy they can't be targeted. This is my blunder. No, not yet. No. Yep. I get carried away. I meant to play knight g6. And I was just looking at the bishop and I just moved in the wrong direction. I was like, okay, bishop takes. Great. That's it. That's a disaster. So now I'm like, oh, I've got to get out of this. This is crazy. So, yep, now, okay, my king is much better at putting that pawn in prison. And I feel really bad how I feel like I've cheated Horton here. So I've locked away that criminal, that passed pawn. Yep, boom. That's. I feel like I've cheated him out of a game. I blundered, and then he resigns. What is there to do? What is there to say? He wants another rematch. I'm playing really badly. I can't even, I'm typing I blundered. And so there you have it. It's, it's a great system for a beginner to use. You get some interesting games. That was a crazy game. I played very passive, and I told Horton I blundered and he went, me too. So, what should I have done? Now, once I got all the exchanges, out, and my position freed up, so here we go again. I've agreed to a third game even though I should probably be going to bed. Okay.